Today on the 01581 Let's Talk, conversation with our town manager, Christy Williams, and an update on an upcoming celebration and community event. Hi, and welcome back to this first episode of the 01581 Let's Talk. Today is January 2nd. We're kicking off the 2024 season with our regular occurring guest, Christy Williams. We'll get to her in just a moment. But first, I want to welcome everyone. I hope you had a relaxing, kind of cozy, comfy holiday season. There's always a sense of renewal when that calendar flips, and there's lots going on, certainly in the town, and the goal here this year will be to bring you current information as we did last year in our first season, which is hard to believe it's already passed. And I've got my budget books here, which we'll talk about in the upcoming shows a little bit today. And there's just lots going on. So look forward to bringing those episodes to you. And we'll kick it off with Christy.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, so what do you have for us? What do you have for the viewers?
Sure, just letting folks know that the senior veteran property tax work programs are kicking off. So applications for those can be obtained at the assessor's office or at the senior center. So as a reminder, it's an opportunity, you have to apply, but volunteers can volunteer 125 hours and they'll get $1,875 off their taxes.
Yep.
So that's what that program is. There's lots of different spots all over the community where folks might volunteer, and we as a town employee, we really value the work that they do.
Yeah. No, it's a great program. It obviously you get the benefit of the tax work off, the tax credit, but it's a great opportunity really for folks to be engaged, see people during the day in various town buildings, and some jobs are a little bit more kind of behind the scenes, so if that's more your speed. So definitely encourage folks to check those programs out. And again, they're available starting January 16th, the applications?
Yep.
Okay, and when are they due back? Do you recall that?
So they're due back by February 2nd.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
to the senior center.
Okay, great. Well, folks, get your application, check it out, ask questions. Definitely a program, and typically that program, my understanding, kind of like we get a lot of responses from those.
We do. I want to say we have maybe 50 to 60 opportunities.
Yep.
But I think we typically get more folks interested than that.
Good,
so,
good. Well, that's good. That's why it's there. Love seeing when we actually implement those programs that they're being used.
Yes,
and this is
absolutely.
one of those. And that is the maximum credit, I believe, allowed by state
so.
statute, as I recall, when
Yep.
when we set those. Okay, great, super.
Great.
What else?
The other thing I just wanted to mention is that the annual town election is March 12th.
Yep.
And so folks who are interested in running for election can pull papers or get papers from the town clerk's office. So if you have any questions about that, you can certainly go to the town clerk's office. The last day to pull those papers is January 19th. And then just to kind of go through, there's two spots for election on the select board, one for the school committee, one for the planning board, 3 for the library board of trustees, 1 for the housing authority, 1 for trustees of Soldiers Memorial, and for a veteran, and then 1 for a non-veteran for the trustees of soldiers. So lots of opportunities to volunteer.
Great. And I would encourage folks, town clerk's office is there to help answer any questions. Running for election the first time can be scary. You do have to get some signatures, 50 to actually get your name on the ballot. But if you're running for election, you have an interest, you're part of this town, I'm sure you know 50 people that would be willing to sign your papers. And the town clerk's office, again, is there to answer any questions. So I encourage you to reach out to them and just understand the process. So, Christy, before I let you go, so we do have our lovely prepared, I feel a little bit like Vanna White here, school budget prepared by the superintendent and her staff, and of course the town budget by you and your staff. So my hope would be over the coming couple months as you join us or as you join me that we talk about different segments of that, and there'll be lots of public meetings, of course, about the budget as a whole. But one piece of this I think it's important for the public to understand is the PIR process, which was instituted, is it 2 years ago?
Last year.
Last year, okay.
Yeah.
So what is that, and why is it important, and why did you implement it?
Sure. So it's PIR is Program Improvement Request, and that's an opportunity for department heads to ask for something that's really outside of what they typically do provide for services. So if they need an additional staff member, if they want to do a new program, if they need new software, something that's just really new. So what we do is we ask the department heads to propose their budget to myself and the finance director.
Their general budget.
As a service level. So the cost might go up, but it's the same service. And then anything new, they propose on this PIR form, which is a great way for us to really have good discussion about these new things and whether or not we think that they're things that we want to implement in the upcoming year. Maybe it's something that we can think of other ways to fund them.
Sure.
We can identify sometimes opportunities across departments, depending on what's being requested. So those actual forms are not part of the budget because they're really internal, but what you do get to see in the budget is you get to see a PIR column. And so you can see the amount of money that was requested by the department head on these PIR forms, and then what is actually recommended.
Okay, great. And so again, probably part of the budget process, we'll be talking about some of those. So again, want to let the public know that these documents are available online through the town's website. Hard copies, are they available in the library? Do we post those? Do we make those available? I don't recall.
We haven't had any requests for that,
Okay.
but we certainly, if folks want, to come in and flip through one of our budget books, or, we can certainly talk about it if people have questions. Just on the PIR form, I guess I would say the things that are brought forward, recommended in the budget, are highlighted under budget highlights, which is in the very beginning, which is, I think, a really good section to sort of wrap your head around what might be coming up that's new or different or having an impact.
Okay, great. And just while we're talking about it, and we could go on and on and on, but in addition to a great table of contents, there's a great guide at the beginning, Citizens Guide to the Budget, and the budget message. So Christy and her team have done a great job of really trying to, I love this, respect kind of that people want information, but also be respectful of their time, because this is not a place that they probably live, every day. And, their interest they may be like, geez, I'm really interested in, what's going on with senior issues, but I'm not so interested in community development. And so you can kind of find your way through the budget and kind of focus in. But there's some high level information, and all of that is outlined. Encourage you to kind of get into it and read at least the first 30, 40 pages. So great. Christy, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me, and see you again soon. All right,
Great,
thanks.
thanks.
All right, we'll be right back with my next guest. Thanks. Hi, and welcome back. I'm joined by two amazing members of our community, Cerniglia and Nuray Wallace. They're here as representatives of Westborough Connects. They're going to talk to us about an important upcoming program that's free to the community, inspirational, and all good feels. So, ladies, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, happy to do this. And the timing was great because today's the 2nd, and the event is coming right up, and you want to get the word out. So what's going on?
So on Monday, January 15th, we will be celebrating Martin Luther King Day. And this year it is the 6th annual celebration that we're doing here in Westborough. Westborough Connects is doing it in partnership with the public schools, Central Mass Connections in Faith, and the Interfaith Clergy. We've been doing it together. This is the 6th time, which I can't get over that it's the 6th year.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to it. It is happening on Martin Luther King Day. It will be occurring at the high school, but this year a little different. We're doing it in the cafeteria. So when people are coming, come right down to the cafeteria. Yes. We decided it would provide a little bit more of an intimate setting, and there's going to be some participation. So we thought it would provide a really good space down there.
Yeah.
And
people like round tables and stuff too.
Yeah,
right?
So we're going to be at round tables having
great.
some conversations. So we're excited about the little bit of a change. It's at the high school still, but in a little bit of a different venue.
Great.
And this year, the theme is called Walking the Path to Dr. King's Beloved Community. The day will start with a performance by one of the high school's choral groups, so we're really excited. We always feel like music brings people together and kind of sets the tone.
Yeah.
And then we will be having a conversation with a woman. Her name is LaToya Thomas. She is a city planner by trade, but she started a consultancy firm called Brick and Story. And the reason is because she works in communities where there will be new things coming in and building, but she understands the importance of trust and building relationships, and strong communities are built with those strong relationships. So she loves to hear people's stories.
Oh, I love that.
So there's going to be kind of a conversation with her to learn more about her work and to be inspired by that. And then she will help facilitators from Central Mass Connections and Faith, have conversations. I know, right?
Sorry.
Have conversations, along with that theme. So meeting neighbors and talking about how do we build that beloved community? What is important? What is belonging? What does that mean? And what do we need to do from here to keep going?
Excellent.
So that will be the adult program we're hoping for, from kind of teens on up to come and learn from LaToya and to have those conversations.
And so will there be sort of like table prompts and like sort of will it be group discussion as well as sort of individual or kind of table smaller group discussion? How do you envision
so we're going to kind of start with some icebreakers because it can be uncomfortable coming into a room and talking to people you haven't met before.
Right.
Of difficult topics sometimes for certain people.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then, yes, there will be specific questions where the facilitators from Central Mass Connections and Faith will help guide those conversations.
Excellent.
And then bring it back to the group to see what we've all learned from each other.
Excellent. And would Westborough Connects typically sort of share sort of maybe some of the themes or the highlights that come out of those discussions? Obviously, everything is like if you're at the event, you're hearing from each other, but is that something sort of you would envision sort of would come out of that? Like, so if you didn't attend, like, what do people say?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Westborough TV, thank you, will be there that day, filming LaToya's conversation. So that's really great. If you can't make it there, it will be recorded, not live stream, but recorded. And we will probably take those themes, and we usually do some follow-up communication.
Sure.
To see
Excellent.
what
Excellent.
people
No, that would be great because I think sometimes even if you can watch that, you're like, well, what was discussed? Like what when you kind of get down to like the grassroots element of it. What did we
get out of
themes,
it?
Right, exactly, great.
Yeah.
And then there's sorry, Laura, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead, right. And then there is, going on at the same time, a dedicated children's program.
Right.
And Nuray is helping to organize that, so I'll leave it to her
And
to
Nuray,
discuss.
before we talk about the program, what's your role with Westborough Connects?
So I am a volunteer, have been a volunteer for a long time, and I've been part of the planning team for 5 years, I think, or 6 years. Not quite, I think 6 years. But anyways, long enough.
Yes. Right?
Long enough, yes. And I've been always sort of helping out and in the creation of the children's program.
Excellent.
So that's my role in the MLK Day.
What's your personal draw to this particular program that Westborough Connects hosts, along with other partners, as Laura described?
Right. I've been always sort of involved all my life into sort of not integration, but immigrant. I am myself from Switzerland, so I have personal experience coming into a new country, and as a student first, then as a member of my community. My husband is American, so we moved from Switzerland. But it's hard, and it's hard to feel it. But this children's message is mostly for those that are in the periphery, not as a person feeling the uniqueness of your situation. And sometimes that feels very uncomfortable. You want to be part of the community, not sticking up, especially if you're children. And so, my life, I grew up in many different places, spoke different languages, changed schools so many times. I know how that feels, so I was always drawn to those kids that sort of felt different, came from different places, spoke different languages, and celebrated different holidays,
customs and
different, physically different. And So I've been always part of that. I was a teacher in the past, so I like to think I'm still sort of a little
always, right?
always a teacher.
Right.
So I've been always drawn to those kind of things. How to make that kind of conversation happen, and how to bring people together, how to bring kids together, and feel that we can all be different, but we can always be friends.
Great, excellent.
So
about the program.
About the program. So the program will be led this year by our very own Wednesday Boateng, and she's an author, a musician, living in Westborough. So we are really tapping into the community for our talents. So she'll be leading the children's program. We'll have 2 books that she'll be reading with the kids, one being her own book. And the other one, the title of the book is Different Kind of Friends. And this book talks to this very topic of you can have forever friends, you can be brand new friends, you can have friends for crazy adventures, you can have friends for staying at home indoor and doing nothing or doing one thing, or you can have friends that look exactly like you, feel like you, are like you, but you can also have friends that are completely different. And so that's the message. And later on, we will have an activity. And this activity is sort of, kids will have certain items in their hands, and one person will not have the same kind of thing.
Okay.
And that person is going to be our sort of planned person, right?
Sure.
It's really we would like for them to see what other people are doing about that situation. What us kids are, the activity, the children's program is geared towards 6th grade and younger.
Okay.
So how are the others are reacting? Really, the message of that activity is for those, not the person that has a different thing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it.
I'm already imagining what those moments might yield.
Exactly. And through that, discussions.
Great.
Discussions.
Excellent.
And later on, Wednesday, we'll read her 2nd book, and then we will finish up with a musical program where every kid will have an instrument and will be led by Wednesday and other members of our community through the to come together. Now, one thing though, very important, as the adults are going down in the cafeteria, the kids will be in the library.
Okay.
So for those that are coming in, kids, drop off your kids at the library, then have,
And how long will both of the programs be the same length?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 2 hours.
Yeah.
2
From
hours.
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And in that library, we'll have some teen helpers, and
Yeah.
Wednesday has coordinated with the Black Student Union,
Yes.
a new group at the high school,
Oh,
to
wow.
help with the
Yes.
planning and to help
Fantastic.
that day as well, which is exciting. There'll be light
Yeah.
refreshments for everybody, some free light refreshments
There you go.
to keep your energy up and to keep the conversations
Yes.
rolling.
But most importantly is that the children's program will be very much, the message of the children's program will be analogous to the
Yes.
message given
Yeah.
in the adult program.
Excellent. And the adult program will be taped. Will Wednesday's session be taped? Do you know for
No.
Westborough TV? No.
No.
Okay.
They might
Unfortunately,
pop
no.
in for some snippets,
Yes.
and also important
Yeah.
that just the conversation with LaToya will be filmed. The conversations are going to be kept
Right,
private, so
right,
that people
not
feel
that-
comfortable.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then
Yeah,
I
no,
think they will
for
pop into the children's
Right.
program,
Yeah,
but
just
just to
get
get
some-
like a sense
Yes.
of the day.
Exactly.
They call
Yes.
that B footage.
There we go.
That's it.
I've learned this over the time. Right.
learning. Yeah.
Excellent. Great.
And I do need to say, because I would get in trouble if not, but we
Yeah.
really appreciate the Westborough Cultural Council. They are partially funding the program, and they are a local agency supported by Mass Cultural Council, which is the state agency.
Yeah.
And also for planning purposes, we love when people register. It's
Yes,
really
yes,
helpful to us
yes.
if people
Sure.
pre-register, just so we get a sense of, the amount of space
Sure.
that we need and how to set up. And language interpretation can be provided.
Okay.
If people register by January 8th, it gives us some time
To
to,
plan.
get some live language interpreters
excellent.
there. So if people need that,
Excellent.
we are
So
happy
the
to provide
event
it.
is free.
Yes.
Registration is encouraged.
Yes.
And I know our friends at Westborough TV will have our graphic up. If
Awesome.
it hasn't already floated as we're talking, they
Great.
do these magical things
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes, which includes the necessary links on how to register.
Awesome.
And again, love can you just say again the partnership of the group
Yes.
that's bringing this out to the community?
Absolutely. So it is Westborough Connects, the public schools, Central Mass Connections in Faith, and Interfaith Clergy. I keep
And then that
flipping
collaborative,
on that word.
that's okay, that
Yes.
collaborative effort by the Westborough Cultural Council. Excellent.
Absolutely helping to
Excellent.
fund us, which, it's been a great effort to work all together and to get those different perspectives and what everyone wants to bring to the table. So
Great.
it's been really good. I think it's going to be a great community celebration.
Yeah.
An inspirational day to hear from somebody who's on the ground doing the
awesome.
work, and then really meeting with new people and neighbors to continue the legacy of Dr. King.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it sounds like it sounds great. And for folks who can't make the 4 to 6 event, as Laura already shared, Westborough TV will be filming the initial kind of portion, but going is always better because you get the real feel of it. Not that Westborough TV does do a great job, but you really do. You're sort of immersed in it. Meet new people, see some maybe folks that but it's really a bit of more of an immersive experience, and it's all about community. Yes.
One more thing about the children's program. Now there will be also a story walk that would be sort of
And
in
this
parallel.
is this the second or third year that we've done
had
this?
it a
the
couple of
story walk?
years.
Oh my goodness! This is our third year.
Okay.
Our third year going. So the actually our book, Different Kind of Friends, will be actually the featured story.
Great.
The location of it is not quite there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet, but it
Stay
will be at the same time as the Martin Luther King's Day, starting on that day.
Okay.
And it will be probably usually it's about a couple months. It stays up for a couple months
Great.
until the
Get
next
outside,
one will be. Yes.
get
Take a
some
walk,
fresh,
or-
cool air, and it's a great activity.
But to your point of, what do we do after, right? This will be sort of a continuation of the Martin Luther King's Day message.
Great.
Will be provided on a walk, nature's walk. We all need to go out. That's it. And an opportunity for discussions for families, friends,
Love
to
it.
go around and continue the important discussion that we need to all have.
Excellent,
Absolutely.
excellent, great. Thank you so much for kicking off this season of 2024 of Let's Talk. So really appreciate you being here, and thank you for all that you do to bring this program and others to the community. So
Thank you for having us.
yeah, so thank you for tuning into this episode of the 01581 Let's Talk. Lots coming up in 2024, and look forward to you tuning in and to being interested in the show. Thanks so much. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be well.